Hey there guys, it's me Alexa. As you can see, it's a slightly different setting than normal. That is because I'm on my way to go see SAAHO. So the closest theater that I found that's playing it is an hour and 40 minutes away, so I'm driving to go and see SAAHO. Let's hope it's worth it. I'm excited. Alright, without further ado, let the journey begin. Alright guys, I just got back from watching SAAHO, and I definitely have a lot of thoughts, so I'll see you in just a few seconds with my official review. Alright guys, let's talk about SAAHO. So before I jump into my opinions on it, let's start off with just a little bit of information. So it is directed by Sujeeth, and this is only his second film, the first one being called Run Raja Run. This is very impressive for being only his second film. I think he did a very good job. I'll talk more about that later. It stars Prabhas, who is known for, most famously, of course, Bahubali. He's been in many other movies as well, such as Mirchi and many others. There's also stars Shraddha Kapoor, who is known for her movies Baki, as well as Stree, and also many others. I was looking through their filmography there, and they've both been in a lot of movies. So this movie, SAAHO, is about an undercover cop that is Prabhas' character, as well as a police officer who is played by Shraddha Kapoor. They work together with many other characters to help catch a thief who is after a black box. If they get this black box, then they will have access to an enormous amount of wealth, like way more money than any person ever needs. So that is the overarching premise of the film. Just so that you know, I will not be giving away any spoilers in this. I'll be doing my very best to curtail my opinions and thoughts without giving away anything, and if I do, I'll cut it out in post. A little bit more about the film. It's done incredibly well this opening weekend. On its very first day, it made 130 crores worldwide. This is making, and if I read correctly, this makes Prabhas the only Indian actor to have 2 movies that made over 100 crore on their first day. The other one, of course, being Bahubali 2. So that's just a pretty impressive feat. Prabhas is very famous. He's extremely talented though, which he proves in this film. The film continued to do really well on its second day, making over 205 crore. So again, just very good job. It's definitely going to be making its money back. It's probably going to get it there in the first week if they keep going at this rate. It does have some very mixed reviews I've been seeing as I've been looking around and just reading more about the movie. A lot of people really love it or hate it. In the poll that we did on the channel, over 50% of you guys did love it, and then the rest of you guys were like half and half between mixed and hated it. So definitely some people hated it, but it seems like the vast majority of you guys loved it. Which is good, because I also loved it. And let me explain why. So, overall, the movie is just a really fun time, I thought. It doesn't really take itself too seriously, which is made obvious in scenes like there's this one, this is very early on, there's like some lighting in there and one of the characters, so it's like, what's this lighting and stuff, and the other one goes, oh, it's background to set the mood, and that made me laugh. I really love moments like that in films where it just like takes a step back and becomes self-aware, and like, I knew it was cheesy. Like, it definitely had you know, it was a cheesy action movie, and it knew that, and it made sure to know that, so that made me appreciate the movie a lot more. So the overarching story of it I really enjoyed personally. There's like a few surprises and other things throughout it that caught me off guard and made me, and then like everything, like there's a few random things earlier on that you're like, why are they even doing this? This doesn't really make sense. But as you continue watching and finish the movie, it all ties together and creates the big huge end moment that I've personally really enjoyed. That final action sequence was a bit much, I do have to say. It just like kept going. There was so much and it got pretty violent at times. Prabhas did an incredible job, so did Shraddha Kapoor. Well, the two of them had really great chemistry with all of their romance and how they played off of each other as well as their own characters. I really loved both of their characters. They were extremely dynamic. They both, from when you first meet their characters and the end of the film, they have grown so much and learned so much. It's really incredible to watch them go on this journey, and that's another reason why I did like the film. Shraddha Kapoor's character was a great balance between being really strong and independent and a great love interest for Prabhas's character, so that was really nice to see on screen with like, she's a total BA, like she's great, she's a really great cop, you can tell, like she's smart, she can figure things out, and so her working with Prabhas's character is a lot of fun to watch as their relationship grows and evolves throughout the film. Probably my biggest complaint with the film was the very first scene in it. They kind of like just throw all of this information at you, and as someone who does not speak Telugu, I was trying to frantically read the subtitles, and I did miss a few things because I couldn't read them fast enough, because it'd be these like long sentences on the screen and then they'd go away for more long sentences. So that was a little difficult. I did understand all of it. I was able to get the gist of it all, and therefore I understand what I was getting into for the rest of it, but I do wish they slowed that down a bit. Maybe, I don't know, did it slightly differently, I would have been a bit happier. One thing about the movie overall is that I really loved, and this is something I talked about, I remember when I watched the trailers, there's a lot of really beautiful shots in it. As you watch, like, just how the cinematography of the whole film is done, and the lighting and the color grading, it's all really beautiful. It's always pleasant to look at. Well, pleasant's the wrong way. If there's violence, it's not necessarily pleasant to look at, but it's still really shot really well, and the coloring is beautiful, so in that sense it is still pleasant to look at. So that's always a really nice thing, because it's hard if someone just has all these like bland, like, oh, here's a shot, here's a shot, here's a shot. It can get kind of repetitive and boring by the end of the film, which is one of the reasons why I am so impressed with Sujeeth and this being only his second film. It really says a lot about his abilities as a director. He both wrote it and directed it, and I personally really love the story in it. It had its moments where it was a little like, come on, or like a little cheesy, but I think it all tied together in such a way that it worked, because that's what it was. That's what it was trying to be. You know, it was purposeful, everything. And with the directing, you can really see, like, you get to experience the characters as they go on these journeys. That's how you're able to watch them go on this journey, as I mentioned, is through this beautiful cinematography and the editing, and we just are able to fully connect with them. And I really enjoy that, because it's hard to do that in a cheesy action movie, like care about and connect with the characters. That's not always accomplished well, but I think that Sujeeth did a really good job with that in this film. Alright, this isn't too spoilery, but I really love the moment right before intermission. It is absolutely awesome. And also, with my bare minimum Telugu, I understood it, and so that made me really happy, because I, like, without reading the subtitles, I knew what was said, so it made it extra epic for me, watching that final scene before it cut to intermission. And I went to the bathroom and missed the first scene after intermission. Was told what happened though, so I do know what happened in it. I just sadly missed it because I went to the bathroom. The intermission was super quick. They only showed the Sara Narasimha Reddy trailer, and then they jumped right into it right after it. So I stayed to watch the trailer and then got up and left thinking it was another trailer starting, but apparently it was the movie starting back up. But thankfully I was pretty quick, so I didn't miss too much. I came back in and yeah, it was all good. The CGI in the film was a mixture of really awesome and some moments not that great, but they did a really good job, I think, overarchingly. The city, the Wajda city, was really impressive to look at, or Waji city, sorry. The building that they had, I didn't actually know it was fake, because I don't know all the city names in India, so I thought this was a city name I hadn't heard of, and then I was looking up stuff afterwards and was like, oh, that was all fake? And so that was really impressive to me that they convinced me it was real. I didn't know any better. So that in itself was an impressive feat. There were moments like the Jaguar that you've seen in trailers, and some of the stunts he did were like he was stretched out a little, like you could see his limbs were like, I always pay attention to that kind of stuff as a filmmaker. That's like the little nitpicky things I noticed. And there's some really tiny continuity errors in there as well, just like things where like a chair gets kicked back and then all of a sudden it's sitting back up. But I also have read that the original version of it was a lot longer, but they made him cut it down. So I'm sure a couple of those continuity errors are due to the fact that he had to cut down the film a bit. One other thing that I thought was done really, really well in this film, overarchingly, was the action and fight sequences. Prabhas did a really great job with all of the fight choreography as well as all of the other actors who he worked with. He definitely beat the crap out of a lot of people in this movie, which was a lot of fun to watch. So this movie only had 4 songs in it, which is slightly less than the normal average of like 5 to 6 songs that I've seen in Indian films. But I think that that was a very good choice for this movie. There definitely didn't need to be any more songs. It was... The movie was quite story-based, which I was pretty surprised about, honestly. I kind of expected it to kind of just be a whole bunch of cool action shots, but it really did have a great underlying story throughout the entire thing, which was, again, a very impressive feat. Great job with that, Sujeeth. The songs, I think, did a really good job of helping out in each thing, just like creating these moments. I really loved the final song, Baby Won't You Tell Me. I thought that was really sweet. Moment between Prabhas and Shraddha's character it was just a really cute song. I really enjoyed that one a lot. I also really loved the Ichota Nuvana song, which my reaction of that's up on here if you want to take a look. But I really just enjoyed all of them overarchingly. Bad Boys was a really fun song. You know, it kind of reminded me a lot of like hip-hop music videos with all the girls and the money and the tanks and everything. So that was just a lot of fun to watch overall. So yeah, I really did enjoy this movie a lot. I definitely see people's points with the front half being a little bit less than the second, but I think that the first half was very important to set up for the second. I think if they didn't do that, like, you would have been a little bit more lost. You needed that kind of build up to just get it going. I don't know, I thought it was worth it, the first half. I thought it made the whole thing, it made it feel like more of a payoff whenever we did discover more things, and like before intermission and in the second half, I thought that it just made it all tie together really nicely. Overall, in the whole film, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought that Sujeeth did a really great job with both the writing and the directing, told a compelling story while also not leaving behind the cheesy action that we all really wanted and expected from the trailers and all the comments we've been seeing about the film. I thought he blended those really well, and I enjoyed the film a lot. Prabhas and Shraddha Kapoor both did a spectacular job with their characters. They really brought them to life, and they just were super dynamic. You really cared for them and felt for them throughout the whole movie, in my opinion. This movie did a great job, had great cinematography, the editing was good, it was fast-paced, which I sometimes have an issue with, but it is an action movie. I was expecting fast-paced editing, and that's what they gave me. So, and it never was slower, they did slow it down a bit for the slower scenes, so they use editing as a useful tool to help as well. So I know people have some mixed reviews on it, but me personally, I'm a big fan. I honestly would even like to re-watch it probably after it comes out of theaters and analyze it a bit more. I enjoyed it a lot, and yeah. Leave your comments down below with what you thought of it, what of my opinions you agreed with, disagreed with. I'd love to hear it. Open up dialogue. If you disagreed with anything I said, please tell me. I would love to talk about it and just hear other people's opinions, because I know some people really are not liking the film, and I think I kind of understand why, but I'm not positive, so feel free to let me know. Why did you like or dislike the film? Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscribe, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye.